what I want to know is, I'm very intrigued by it. Why do you want to talk today? In terms of like, what have you came here thinking you're going to speak about?
I don't know. To be fair, they did send me a thing of some of your other interviews, and I have seen obviously on socials some stuff, but I don't know. I just wait and see what gets asked. Normally, it's the same thing.
It's always the same thing in the professional scene. It's always rigid, it's always robotic, but I want to see the human side of you. Okay. And I want to ask you a question. What's been stressing you out lately?
Stressing me out lately? Ooh, relationships and me little girl.
Why?
Because I'm kind of in the thing now where I think, right, I'm ready to have a relationship, but then men stress me out. They just stress me out, and like I get the ick so quick, and then I can't, like, I'm so comfortable with being by myself that I cannot be arsed with anyone disturbing my peace. So once I see something that I don't like, I'm like, yeah, that's not for me.
Straight away, not even giving them a chance.
And I know it's bad, but I'm just not ready for having my peace disturbed for, and maybe it's just not the right person, but I'm not ready to have my peace disturbed. And then my little girl she's struggling a little bit with some of her work in school. Now, I'm not, listen, I know education and all that is very important, and, you know, it can lead you on to better things, but I don't think it's the be all and end all. No. I've got very far, and I'm not that clever at all.
The education system's hundreds of years behind too. Like, yeah. Let's put that into perspective. Look, it is like what they teach in schools sometimes. It's not normal day, everyday life.
No, it's not built for everyone, is it?
No.
And it definitely wasn't built for me.
So where's the frustration coming from?
Because she'll tell you that I honestly don't know how teachers do it. I'm so patient, and like if I'm teaching someone, a kid, a skill, like, I've got the patience of all day to teach that skill. But when it's your own kid, and like just example, she's way past this now, but like in lockdown, we're going like, cut at it. Okay, what are them? Cut at it. Okay, say it for quicker. Cut at it. Say it quicker. Cut at it. Say it quicker. Cut at it. What does it say? Dog. I'm like, well, where did you get the dog? Where's the duck come from, Mila? Where, like, I just like, and I go, I just go from 0 to 100. So like, I know she said, Mum, I can't do it because you just shout. So I'm really conscious of like, don't shout at her. Don't shout at her. And she goes to a tutor and stuff, but there's some that I want to be able to help her. So I'm like, come on, babe. Like, or like, so I've got to this stage now where when she's reading and we're going along, I'll just keep my finger on the word if she's got it wrong, because otherwise I'm going to her, no. No.
So you're not verbal with it. You can't just like.
I just keep my finger there until I say, and like if she still can't get after a few times, I'm like, okay, where's the special friend? So I am trying. I don't think it for her. I don't know if for her if it feels like that, but I am stressed to death to do that because it's hard.
No one sees the side of you, but at least, you know, they see the professional side and they see you punching people's heads in constantly. But you being a mother at home away from the gym is like the human side, yeah.
Oh, listen. I never claimed to be perfect or anything close. I am like, yeah, I'm imperfect in every way, but I'm like, it is. That's just life. Everyone's imperfect. No one's perfect at anything, and you're trying. As a mum, and I'm a single mum as well. Like, our family's huge, and I've been surrounded by kids my whole life. But when it's your own, it's different. So even though I know what to do with kids, and I regularly, if you look at my socials, I've regularly like 18, 20 kids in mine staying the night, and it doesn't bother me. But like when it's your own, you're trying to take, especially when she was born, trying to take bits of advice from everyone. You're taking it from the midwife, you're taking it from the hospital, taking it from the little, you know, the sessions that you go to. You're taking it from
who's not even in the
mum.
Aussie.
Yeah, you're taking it from your nan, you're taking it from your aunties, your kids, your mates who've all gone before. And you're thinking, okay, these are all doing this. They've said these are the pros and cons of this. So I'm going to try and do a bit of this and not do a bit of that. And then you just get given this child and you're like, okay, make that a perfect child. And you're just like, how this is an impossible task. I am not Superwoman. and I don't know how to do it. And I think for a very long time, as a kid looking up to my mum and looking up to my nan, I always thought that they had the answers. You know what I mean? And now I'm the adult and the mum, and I look at her and say, babe, I haven't got the answers. I'm just learning like you. Do you know what I mean? But you don't. You think that your parents
It's
know
your
everything.
first time living as well as it's your daughter's first time living.
Yeah, because your perspective has changed now, because now you're looking at it from a different angle. And I remember my mum saying, don't like her. Don't like her. There's something about her, don't like her. And I'm like, Mum, you've only seen her twice. She's only been around once. You know, she's, you know, and then, you know, couple of years, whatever, months, days, whatever it is, you fall out. Your mum was like, see, told you. Told you I didn't like her.
That's proper a mum thing, that.
And now I see that with my little girl, and she comes back and she's like, well, this one said this, and she hasn't been nice to me. And I was like, babe, it's always the same person all the time. Like, she's just not a nice friend. She's not your friend. And she's like, but if I'm not speaking to her, then I've got no friends. And it feels like her world is collapsing. But it's, you know,
Minuscule.
Yeah, it's minuscule. But as a kid, I remember that feeling. Like
the whole world's like,
yeah.
Oh, like, you feel it's on top of you sometimes with the littlest things. But as you grow older, you're like, why am I even bothered about that?
Exactly that. And now, like, and she's only in primary school. So, like, she is so sensitive that I worry about her going to senior school, because I think, oh my God.
It's such a different challenge.
Let someone, let her come home and say, Mum, I'm being bullied.
Such a different challenge, and every kid goes through different challenges. Like, if it's bullying or it's just a problem, like, there's so many different problems and situations. There's a lot of positives.
Of course.
A lot of independence, but I haven't even got kids, and I dread the day my kid. You never know what it's going to be like in 10, 15 years when I have children. 20, because they've got to get to that stage. Oh my God, I didn't even think of that. Have you always been a single parent?
From very early on, yeah.
What's that like? Is it hard? Is it something you want to speak about first?
Oh yeah, I'm not bothered. It's tough. Like I say, you're expected to. You're responsible now for a whole human, and you're trying to bring them up to be positive and to be, you know, educated and to be, you know, loving and kind,
strong and resilient.
Yeah, and you try and. I think sometimes you try and teach them the goodness of the world, but also prepare them for the badness. But I was preparing her for the badness in my world when I was little, but that badness doesn't exist anymore. That world doesn't exist. It's a totally different badness.
Completely.
So now when, like, even, I mean, I don't want to go into it, but like shows like Adolescent and things, I'm learning things. I was thinking, does that emoji mean that?
Yeah.
I'm sure I've like put it on someone's thing, or, you know, and you just don't know what. And I hear parents all the times of, you know, going through, there's like these groups that kids have. I've got a cousin who's got like 2 teenage boys, and there's these like WhatsApp groups with like 4,000 kids in.
What?
And like,
I'm 22 and I'm new to this. I'm like, that's how quick the world's moving, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, I remember like when, like, I always think of it like this. When I was like 16, 17, 18, we'd go out in the parks, we'd have fun. But now like 12, 13, 14-year-olds are doing that.
Yeah.
Like, everything's coming back, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, younger kids are doing something I'd do at that age. And I'm like, what? What's going on?
I was literally speaking to my mate this weekend about, you know, your holidays, you first go on holiday. When we first went on holiday with our little girls group from school, we went to Kavos, we went to Faliraki, we went to Ayia Napa a bit later.
Yeah.
These kids are like, yeah, I think I'm going to go to Thailand, I'm going to go Ibiza. And I'm thinking, where have you got Thailand and Ibiza money from? I'm going to Bali. I'm like, for your first holiday? Like, where are you
Is
going?
it social media, Tash? What's going on?
I haven't got a clue. I wish I had the answers.
What? Look, that's me being a son, like, Mum, have you got the answers?
Exactly.
Like,
I just haven't got a clue.
putting the pressure on the parent. But it's so interesting because it's like an entitlement, as in like, I am going here.
Yeah. Like, I was stressing. My mum said to me, right, okay, I'll pay for either your hotel and your flights or your spending money. So you decide which one you want. So I obviously calculated with all my mates how much you reckon we'll spend on how much of stuff there. And I think she ended up paying for my hotel and thingy. But like to think that at the time, you're talking at 18 to 30s, it's probably about 400 quid if that.
Yeah.
And I was probably taking 400 quid if that.
Just spends, and you probably spend on the first day.
I had to go and work in a nappy factory in Chester for like a month of the summer holidays to afford to go there. And these kids just like, me mum and dad will pay for the
my mum will get that.
Yeah, that's on them.
Do you think they miss, like, obviously, here's the children, here's the holiday. Do you think they miss that bit in between? The money, the time and effort it takes to get to that destination. And do you think, I honestly think it's because of social media. So if I post a picture of us two now, let's say there's a green screen, it looks like we're on a beach. They just see straight away the destination. But they miss you fighting your whole life. They miss me working for the past 5 years without spending any enjoyment time. Just like, they just see the picture.
Yeah.
So I think kids are growing up seeing you with your belts. You know, they're seeing like the destination and they're not seeing the journey.
Yeah.
Because they're seeing the gratification of straight away, boom, it's there.
But life is about instant gratification now. Like you have to grab someone, you'll know that better than me, within like, is it 5 seconds? Someone decided within 5 seconds. Oh, 3 seconds.
3 seconds in a video.
Whether they like it or whether they're going to flick on or whatever. And even, I was listening to something on One Extra the other day about music, how music changed. You look at like a Whitney Houston track or, you know, a Mariah Carey, whatever, like years ago, they'd be like 4 or 5 minutes long. A Michael Jackson track, Thriller, was like 7. So
and now they're like 2 minutes.
It's like 2.5 minutes and 3 minutes at most. So even music's changed because they don't want to sit there and listen. So everything is like instantaneous. And what you're saying about the journey is 100% true. Because when people ask me the question about like, you know, you're only seeing like the 20, 30 minutes that I'm in the ring. And they think, oh yeah, well that's happened in that 10-week camp. And this is the thing. I've been doing sports since I was like 2 years old. Literally, I've been playing involved in some form of activity since I was 2. So it is about what you're seeing because that's what you're going to judge me on. But I've actually been doing that since I was 2 years old. So it's a long journey and a process. But there's been far better boxers and whatever sports I've done, footy players than me. But they don't want to do the journey. They haven't.
I think that's where I don't want to say going wrong, but I think that's where like professionals coming up into the scene now, they just don't get that. Maybe I struggle with it too. You get that instant gratification of, I need to be there now. I'm not going to work for the next 5 years to get to that. I need to be there now because Tom, Dick and Harry, I've got a Ferrari and a Lamborghini on Instagram and I need to have that now. And for you to learn that as a parent too, because your daughter is going to come into that and it will be even worse in the next 5 years, 10 years.
Don't.
Honestly though.
Don't.
Like that, oh my God, this girl who lives around the corner, she's got all this brand new makeup. But, because it's, you know what I mean? Like that like...
My little girl's got a skincare routine. She's
How
9.
old?
She's 9 years old. And I wouldn't mind, one of the things out of the skincare routine is £40 for some little tiny tub. And I know that's TikTok. But, like, yeah.
You either adapt to it or you get left behind and you've got to adapt to it. Because if you don't, then you're putting your kid behind and it's like,
yeah,
what you do?
It is keeping up with the Joneses. Like, it's like...
The Joneses are moving too fast at the minute though.
The Joneses have got everything. and like you say, social media doesn't help because everyone just sees the good parts. No one puts like, oh, you know, no one, when I lost in the Olympics that I cried for 2 days, no one's seen that. They just say, oh, good performance, good shot.
But at the same time, I always think about it, like everyone calls me the happy guy. And I'm like, I'm not happy all the time.
Exactly.
I'm not perfect. I'm not happy. I'm super negative sometimes. But I just realise what it's like to be happy, so I try and portray it as much as I can.
Yeah.
But even when you're crying and you're like, you don't want to post that. Because then you're projecting like that vulnerability, especially in a professional scene. Sometimes you don't want to post that. So sometimes everything you do post is the wins. Like I always think about it like, I'm having a shit day today. Should I just post a selfie and tell people I'm having a shit day? And you're like, no. Because like something's stopping you.
But that's that's human, and we don't like detaching ourselves from what is real, because like social media just isn't real. You're not always happy. I'm not. Everyone's like, oh, you're always smiling. I smile because it's the easiest thing to do. And people would judge me off just smiling and be like, oh,
Imagine
she's
if you went
happy
into the interview and was just like,
yeah, I'll be asked today.
yeah.
They're going to ask me the same questions, and I just can't be asked today. But you don't, I just walk in and I'm like...
Someone who's been in the game for a long time, you talk about obviously getting asked the same questions. What's that like to be a professional and get asked the same stuff over and over again? I'm very curious and fascinated by it.
I think it has like changed a lot, and I don't know whether that's the promotions, like media commitments to the platform, or social media has changed it in that sense. But like years and years ago, I don't remember your Lennox Lewis's, your Chris Eubanks, your Nigel Benn, Steve Collins. Like I don't remember them getting the like seeing them. I don't remember seeing them everywhere, but then I don't remember all the media all the time on them. Like literally, we have a press day, and there could be 10, 15, 20 different reporters from all different thingies, and you've just got to go down the line, and it's how you prepare for camp. No except I'll shout out to the October Red. She's the only one that ever asked me something different. But yeah, everyone else is just like, they're just asking you the same, and you've got to answer it, and you've got to be happy, and you've got to, yes, this is the best camp ever, and I've never had an injury.
15 times, it's the best camp ever. Yeah. It's the best camp ever. Just constantly.
And I've no injuries, but I think Carl Frotcher said it before. For a boxer to say they've gone through a camp with no niggles, it's a lie. It's a blatant lie, because you're training at your, optimal peak, or trying to get to your optimal peak. So that's putting strain on your body every single
constantly.
Time. So you're gonna and you spar, and you're gonna get hit somewhere down the line. Something's gonna give. So for you to go there and be like, yeah, been best camp ever. yeah, it might mean you might get faster times, you might be lifting heavier weight. Doesn't mean you haven't had a nickel. Yeah. Doesn't mean something hasn't pulled. Doesn't mean you didn't have a shit spar, because you did.
Do you feel like in today's world, though, as a professional, you've got to kind of say you're at the best camp ever? Because it's like, if you say anything different to the normality of what they're expecting, they run with it. Tasha Jonas has had a niggle in a camp. Oh my God, she might, you know what I mean?
Yeah, should she be fighting?
Yeah.
And the result comes in like, she shouldn't have fought.
Yeah, and it's like, if you say anything different from the standard answer, then they're just going to run with it. Like, I feel like professionals sometimes struggle to be honest, because media nowadays are just looking for the clicks. They're just looking for the, oh my God, they're looking for the wrong.
Yeah.
They're constantly trying to catch us out.
100%. And I mean, boxing, compared to the likes of footy or whatever, it's very, very small. We don't get the, like, I think when it's footy, it's like magnified a bazillion times.
In terms of exposure, like,
just in terms of sensationalize. What's the word I'm trying to say? Sensationalization, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So like,
I'm not good with words. I'm not.
Normally I am.
You asked the wrong person there, Tash.
Yeah, well, that word anyway, someone will know it. Yeah, it's just a bigger, magnified, massive.
When you talk about boxing, I want to go back to the start. When did you start taking in boxing, and when did you realise, oh my God, this is something I can take to the next level?
I've never been one that's scared of a fight.
Oh, I like that. Do you bring any gloves?
I've got some in the car. So I've always known that I could like handle myself. And when I went to boxing, I'd come from karate. So it wasn't something that was brand new. To punch wasn't brand new. So I kind of knew the basics. Obviously, it's two different like art forms, but yeah. I think when I started sparring with the lads, because there was no other girls, and like the other coaches, I was with one main female coach who was like, this girl's good, we've got to put her in the lads class because she can box for us. And the lads were like, some of the men coaches were like, yeah, whatever. And then when I was brought in to spar with the lads, they were like, oh, actually, she's right here. And I think when I saw that I thought, oh, actually,
oh my God,
it's not just still like just talking me up and, blowing me trumpet. I actually might be okay.
When you said like you can handle yourself, where did that come from? Was there any scenarios you had to handle yourself, like growing up, or was it more just like it was a natural thing?
No, I think there's been a few. There's been a few, but again, in our house, because my mum had me when she was very young, so we grew up in my nan's with me 2 older boy cousins and a load of cousins around us, and you had to like, I was like, I weren't the oldest girl, but I was the oldest girl in the house.
Yeah.
So with like 2 older lads and thingy, I always had to be like, nah, you're not taking the piss out of me.
Yeah.
And
hold
like,
your ground.
Yeah, hold your ground. And there was one who there was one who, when we was in school and he was in trouble, he used to come and get me. And he was the older lad. But yeah, so I think it was from there.
It's cool listening to you, like, you know, and when you're talking about boxing, 50, 100 years ago, boxing was a very male-dominant sport, and now it's becoming less. When you were coming up through the ranks, was it hard? Because obviously you said there wasn't a lot of female boxers in your gym, and then you're getting thrown in with the lads. What's that like?
I think for the lads, they can't win. Because they go out and bat you, then everyone's like, that was a bit harsh.
Okay.
And then if you go out and you beat them up, everyone's like, oh my God, you just got battered by a girl. So they're in a hard situation.
It's a hard situation.
So like at the same time, I was trying to be respectful of that.
Was you aware of that?
Yeah, of
At
course
the
you
gym?
are. Yeah. Like the trainers and that'll be like, go
Get
fuck
in,
him, go
smash
fuck him. Yeah, go do that. You won't hurt him, like go fuck him. And I'd be like, and I'd throw a little chat, and then like, a good lad will only let you do so much before they retaliate.
Yeah.
But again, you have to know your strength as well. So like, I learned that I could punch, but then I like reserved it as well at the same time, because you don't want to take the piss. Because no, even that's just, even now, if other girls come to spar now, if I think someone's taking the piss, I'll start taking the piss. And that's just how it goes in sparring. You're like, yeah, you are trying and you're both punching, but it's respectful and stuff. But if someone takes the piss, then you'd be like, okay.
I see videos on the internet of like 2 people sparring, and it's like one's the elite and one's like the new, and the newcomer always like has to like throw the heaviest of digs ever. Is that common in gyms?
So Joe calls it putting manners on someone.
So you, as the trained professional, would be putting manners on someone who thinks they're the big bollocks coming in the gym.
If they've come in and they've started like throwing alehouse.
That's it, alehouse dig. So look, I see these clips like, and these newcomers, they're like just like so angry, and they're coming in against like this person who's been there for so many years, not even professional sometimes. So I see a lot of MMA. It happens in MMA a lot on the mats, and they're just throwing alehouse digs, and then something clicks in the person that's obviously got the manners to put on them, and he just smashed them up.
Because we're trained to think logical, no matter how much pressure you're under, and it does go wrong sometimes and you start being emotional, but you'll lose. So we're trained to like hold our emotions, but there's like any other person in the world, there's only so much we're going to let that happen before, especially if we know we can.
Yeah, if you
it's
know
different
you can
if you didn't think you can, you'd be like,
yeah, I'm going to get my head filled in.
Yeah, I'm pissed off, but like, I'm still going to have to control
like if
myself.
I sparred you, you'd be like, you know, oh, he's blowing and he's throwing alehouse digs. If I started doing that, but you'd be like, I know, I can just waste him in like 3 seconds. You know what I mean? I know I can just throw a left hook to the body or something here and put me down. It's that knowing though, innit? I'm so
confidence in knowing.
Yeah, I'm so fascinated by like, how do you feel knowing you can walk into gaffs just being able to punch anyone's head? I ask fighters this all the time. It's it's a cool question. I love it. Do you think like that or no?
No, not at all. I half the time, I don't even want to be seen. I don't like.
Really?
Yeah, I'll mooch behind people and like I don't want to be seen, because the first thing people do is like coming at me with a 1-2. I'm like, oh mate, I'm just out with my mates on a night out. Just like leave me alone.
With me Dawson, you're actually doing a 1-2 Blackpool fair.
Even usually if someone comes and says, oh, I don't mind pictures and whatever, but she'd be like, And I see the eye roll. She's like, oh.
Has anyone ever asked you to give them a body shot?
Loads.
Really?
You'd be surprised how many people say, like, just go ahead. I just want to know. Just punch me here, punch me there.
Lawsuit right there, and then just like get sued.
It's more than likely it's drunken night out somewhere.
Drunken night out, so when someone's like, go ahead, just hit me, go ahead. I can take it.
Let me
I've trained for 5 years.
Go ahead. I'll tense.
That's so good. Obviously, you've had a fantastic career and you're still smashing the game. What's the one thing you love about boxing? Like, what makes you like want to keep turning up every day? Or is it one of them where it's like a love-hate one?
Oh, listen, it's got to the point where boxing's my job. So, like with any job, you love it and you hate it. There's some days like I get on the track or, you know, go on the treadmill and I think, I can't be asked. I literally can't be asked. Or Joe goes, oh, such and such is coming, you can spar. I think, I can't be asked. But then there's days he'd be like, you've got to spar. And I'll be like, yes,
Yeah, you're
sparring. That's my favourite bit. I think with boxing, again, I was only saying this the other day, there's a time when I'm ready to fight, amateur and professionally, where you're sitting in the changing rooms and I'm thinking, why the fuck do I do this? Why am I here? Like just leave. You can just leave. You can just say no. Why do you want to be here?
Why do you want to get punched in the face and punch someone else in the face?
Exactly. And you start thinking these thoughts. And then they say, like, Jonas, you're in next. And
I'd be feeling sick.
That little fight or flight was like, because I'm Miss GB, that's why. And then you start like, the mindset changes and I'm like, that's the bit I'm addicted to, is that little tiny bit of panic before you actually get through the ropes. That's what I'm addicted to, and that's going to be hard to replace when it goes.
You know, you talk about that. I think that just shows you human, man. That feeling, nerves, like, yeah. Oh, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? You know, my family are outside. Let's just go for a scran. Let's just go and watch EastEnders tonight and get in bed. But then the switch, and that's where the professional comes in. That's where the boxer comes in. And you go out there and you walk out and you smash. You know, well done. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the make or break for me, I think. That's what makes a professional to a normal person. Being able to go, okay, bottle it all up, sweet. Jonas, you're next. And then you go. Do you have any fears, like, in the whole of the boxing scene? I always think, like, do boxers feel embarrassed or nervous that whatever happens in that ring can affect them for the whole life?
Yeah, I think. Do you mean like injuries and stuff, or do you mean
everything?
Like,
because, like,
I mean, firstly, it was like, oh, please don't fall up the steps as you're getting in. Please don't fall up the steps. And then you realise, right, I've fought like 100 times now. I'm not going to fall up the steps. So then it'll move to something else. Everyone has irrational fears, but then when you see like stories of, you know, people losing their lives and whatever and making weight,
does that come into your brain as a boxer?
Never. And I say this all the time, and maybe I could be wrong because I've never asked them, but I don't think I can honestly put my hand on my heart, and I don't think that Lewis Hamilton ever gets in a car and think, right, today's the day I'm going to crash. Yeah. But he knows it can happen, and that's the same with us. I don't think, right, okay, today's the day I get brain damage, but I know that can happen. So yeah, that's I don't ever think about it. I don't ever want to wish that upon myself. And
you don't cross the road going, oh, I might get it today.
Yeah,
you just cross the road. Yeah, you're so right. I'm just so curious and fascinated by it all. It's so interesting. You know, Miss GB, you've won belts. Like, I say it as if like it was just done yesterday and like it was just done in a day. But it was a lot of work. It was a lot of putting the shift in. What's been your favourite moment throughout it all? Has there been a moment where it's been like a pullback moment? It's like, oh my God, I done that.
I think, obviously, apart from having my daughter, which was horrific, by the way, but I think boxing wise is so when I qualified for the Olympics in 2012, there was like a big rigmarole, and when we got there, it was in China. When we got there, they changed like how we could qualify, and you have to qualify in regions, and Europe was by far the strongest region. So I had to get to the semi-finals at least to qualify, and I did that. But then there was still 4 of us in. There was me, France, Russia, and Taylor of Ireland. So when I got there, I had to beat, I think it was Ingrid Egner of Norway, and France had to get beat. Otherwise, there'd still be too many people in Europe.
Oh my God.
So I went out in round 1, and no one had, so because there was only 3 Olympic weights and there was only 1 qualifier, everyone from all the weights had changed and moved up and down to try and get to the Olympics. So as you can imagine, there was more participants than ever before. There's more countries than ever before. It was like the biggest world championships ever. So I went out in round 1, and she was the world champion from the world championships before, but from the weight above.
She's dropped down a weight.
So she's dropped. I had as well.
Okay.
But I didn't go to the world championships before.
Okay.
So she dropped down. She was from India, and she was from India. Oh my God, she absolutely punched me everywhere for 2 minutes, and I come back to the corner, and my coach was like, "Oh my God, that was terrible. Like, I know you saw he's boxed like 5 times in 6 days.
Oh my God.
Like, I know you saw, but that was shit. You've got to pull it up. Does it mean to? What does it mean to you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can do it. Goes up to round 2. Has a little bit of a better round, but she's still winning because they give you this. It was point scoring at that time, and they give you the score at the end of the round.
Do they each round? They give you it?
So I think they still do now actually, but it's a 10-9 round now.
Okay.
But at the time it was points. So I think it was. I was 2 points down after the first, 1 point down after the second. Third, I was level, but then France had been beat. So I'm level now in this ring against the world champion from the weight above that had dropped down, and I've got 2 minutes to try and beat this girl.
You've got
to
to turn it
qualify
round.
for the Olympics. Otherwise, I ain't going. So I went out that round and threw more shots in that 2 minutes than I've ever threw in my life. I was like absolutely exhausted to the point where I couldn't even like lift my arms on the ropes for him, my coach, to take my gloves off. I couldn't lift my head up for him to take the head guard off. I was just exhausted. Anyway, he says, right, the winner is Jonas. So I've done a big dramatic fall on the floor. And like the whole crowd boos because everyone in the world hates the UK.
Really? Is that a thing?
Yeah, the only people they hate more than us is the USA, and it's always political. There's always some reason. There's always some war
Crazy,
going on. But yeah, everyone boos, and then it goes through the media, and I'm doing for 2 hours like the same media, you know.
After the fight,
because I've qualified now.
Okay.
So now like I'm the first person for Great Britain females to qualify. So you have to go BBC, ITV, NBC, ABC,
knackered.
you know, ESPN. All the world news from everywhere because every country's got some representation there. And I'm giving the same interview, you know, I feel great, you know, thanks to everyone, thanks to everyone, thanks to the coaches, good luck to the girls that are going after me, you know, I'm doing that. And then I finally get to go back to the changing room and I sees me mum and dad, and my mum is sobbing her heart out. And I've been emotional, but I hadn't cried. My nan calls me, says I've got a swinging brick because I just never cry. So I've just burst out crying. And then like when my mum was saying, you know what, I remember you being 4, watching the 88 games in Seoul, saying, I want to be there. Because like I said, I've always been obsessed with sport. Like I've done a million different sports. Like football was probably my most successful before boxing. She said, I thought you'd get there and that, and it didn't work out for you. And, you know, and now you're finally going. I can't believe that you're going. And like, again, I started crying then because I was like, I didn't know that story, but she was like, so just to have that moment with me mum.
It's a lot, that, innit?
Yeah. And just for me mum in general, you know, there was lots of, like I said, she was, I think 15 when she had me. So there was a lots of like, you know, should she keep me, you know.
She was 19.
Yeah. Like, wow. But like, even we go out now and people are like, oh, your sister. I'm like, come on,
you do what your daughter does.
Yeah, swear it, come on. I mean, she looks really well, but swear it. But yeah, so there isn't that much of an age difference. And when I look at pictures, you can still see she's a baby. And I know myself, I didn't have my daughter till I was 31. And
Complete
one, I wouldn't tell my
difference.
dad. I didn't want to tell my dad. I was like, Mum, you tell him. but two is like, even as much as I planned it, I still wasn't ready when she came. I was like,
It's so interesting that.
so it's mad that she could be so young. And my nan played a massive part, and which was probably why I'm so close to my nan. But still, to have that responsibility, and you know, she's gone through a lot of things at such a young age to, you know, to kind of give me the things to be like, you can be. I remember, it sounds stupid, but I remember that she was asking me once when I was going through my GCSEs, what do you want to do? And I was like, oh, I want to be like a care worker. And she was like, yeah, why do you want to be a care worker? I said, oh, like people are like looking after her, you know, like I think it'd be that good. And she was like, well, why don't you want to be the doctor? Like,
That's such a good dynamic. That, like, why don't you want to be the doctor?
why are you happy to be the care worker? And I like, for me, that was just what I wanted to be. And like, I never thought that I could be bigger and do bigger. And I thought, well, you know, doctor's quite smart. You have to be. And she was like, well, why are you only aiming to be there? So that what I'm trying to say is that she's always pushed me to one,
Be the best.
think bigger, and two, like, if you've got a dream, go for it. Like, we'll support you all the way.
Do you take that into your motherhood now of being a mother? Do you take that with your child now?
Yeah, there's definitely things that like, and maybe I don't want to say too pushy, but and one thing I did struggle with, but one thing I did think about when when she was born and I found out she was a girl, I was thinking, I'm a girl that's wore trackies 99% of my life. How am I going to dress this kid? So that was a fear. And then I thought, what if they don't like sport? What am I going to do if this kid is like a bookworm? And because I'm not like very academic or anything like that. I was thinking, well, what if they don't like sport? What am I going to do? So, but I don't force her, because I think people will always find their own sport and do, but I do think being active is important. And there were so many things and lessons that I learned within all the sports that I did that school just didn't teach me. So I think there's like, yeah, there's stuff that I think that as well prepares you for the bigger world outside.
So you have your daughter. Having that whilst being in and around sport, is that hard? You know, you've got to give birth, you've got to raise the child, you've got to recover. Is that hard?
Yeah, it's
You know what I mean?
mentally more than.
But I mean, like that wear and tear on yourself mentally and physically. How do you, like, you know, as a man, I feel lucky. Like, I don't have to give birth. You know what I mean? I'm lucky and I'm honest about it. I always joke with my partner. I always feel like having a child, the woman always goes through like the most difficult part.
Oh, it's hell. And to come out with your dad's face is even a bigger kick in the teeth. Look at the baby, you think, you know, that's your... No. I've just carried you for 9 months for that. I went through backache. I went through not being sleepless nights. I went through heartburn. And you've got your dad's face. That's a smack. It's all right. She looks like me now, but...
You know, how is it like being in camp and having to train for a fight and having to constantly prepare and train whilst having a daughter? Because it's a very zoned in thing you've got to do.
I think with people talk about athletes as being selfish, and it's sometimes like seen as a bad thing, but this life and your sport and life is all about you. So it can only be about yourself. It has to be about, just because I'm a mum doesn't mean that I don't still have my dreams, my hopes, my fears, and
you're living life too, aren't you?
Yeah, I've got to be true to myself and stay true to what, you know, little 4-year-old Tasha wants to do as well. Because, but it can be difficult to juggle. But like with motherhood, you will always find your way. You will find the way that works for you. I can sit there and tell you what I did and how it, but that might not work for you. Which is again the same as all the information that you receive. Is like, it's very overwhelming, and you're like, oh, I've got to do all this, and then and eventually you just find
Your
the
routine.
way your routine that works for you, because every parent's different, every child's different, and yeah, you just it can be a struggle. It's tough, and people always talk about the like the hairy fairy bits of motherhood, and oh yeah, and they look at you with them eyes, but no one says that they've been a demon for the whole day, and then they come and just give you a kiss and say something cute, and you think, oh,
The whole
my
day.
baby. But the whole day you've been a demon. 23 hours of that day you haven't slept, you've cried, you've been sick twice, you've shit up your nappy, I've had to change it 8 times, you won't be put down.
And then they come over and say, Mama,
and then
Mommy.
they give you these little puppy dog eyes and flutter their eyelids, and you're like, oh, my baby. Like, no.
Is that a hard change in emotions, that to go from being a killer in the ring to being a caring and loving mother?
No, I've said this before. I think when I was on GB and I didn't have Mila, it was all about, everything was about the results, and that's the way everything's always about, the results in sport. So if I'd lose in a tournament, if I'd sparred bad, if I'd stress me out, I'd be stressed out until the next spar, until the next tournament, and I was constantly on edge, because there's other people trying to take your position as well.
Oh, it's a cutthroat game, mate.
So
it's a cutthroat game.
I'm like, oh, they're gonna do it, and I was constantly. I think that was the hardest part of GB, was the mental aspect of it. The pressure of constantly, and that made me mentally tired. I was drained mentally. Yeah, physically, my body can do anything it wants to do. Even now, I run faster now than I did when I was 20, 28, 24. But the mental strain and pressure was immense. But then when I had Mila, again, like I said before, your perspective changes, and everything, the result obviously still matters, and you're training and your thingy. But when I left the gym, I left it all at the door.
It's not everything.
Because I had to go and be mum. And there's two different sides, and there's 2 different lives, and she doesn't need Miss GB who's ruthless and self-centered and hot-headed and all these things, aggressive. Yeah, she needs love and caring and tenderness, and that's what she needs.
She just needs a mum.
Yeah, exactly. So that helped me and my brain separate the two, because when the gym door shut and the house door opened, I could just be me. And then when the house door shut and the gym door opened, I could be Miss GB.
So you talk about that mental fatigue. That will still happen, no matter if you're mum or not.
Oh, mum's even worse.
Exactly. There's a lot more mental pressure. How do you keep yourself refreshed? How do you keep that mental fatigue? Because that's something I'm learning now. Sometimes I'm exhausted. Like my body now, I'm going to do 100 videos, but mentally I'm like, yeah. So how do you keep refreshed mentally? Like, is there a routine you do? Is there something you go away? What is it?
Just do the things that I love, be around the people that I love. And like, I don't need, my life can be very hectic. So sometimes I just want it to be peace.
Oh my God, I love just putting my PlayStation on and just playing a single player game.
Yeah. Or just like I always say, like, before I pick the baby up from school, so I try and do, even when I'm training, I do all my things before like 2:30. I try and get everything that I need to do, whether that's training 2 or 3 times a day.
Or a podcast.
Yeah. I do it all before 2 o'clock, like 2:30 the latest, because then I go home, and for just half an hour before I have to go on that school run, I just like the house to be quiet, and I just like to sit there and like, I have the telly on, but it's more for noise than anything. And I just like to just be present and just lie there and do nothing just for half an hour. Then I go and do what she's, pick it up, and then she's always got a club or
then
got
it's
a
her world. It's like, let's go and do this. Let's
do
go
whatever
and do
you want to do. And then she goes to bed. I always get a bath.
Yeah,
and that hour in the bath is
lovely, relaxing.
It's just chill. But
muscle
I do
soak.
it half after she's gone to bed, so that's me other hour. But on a like general thing, I think I love being around kids. Like, I think they're so creative. Our kids in our family are hysterical, and they keep you young, and you should never lose that kid in you anyway. Like, I'm a very strong believer in always, like, because without without little Ryan, big Ryan isn't here.
Doesn't exist.
It doesn't, exactly.
Like without me loving to play the PlayStation, I don't get to play it every night with my mates. You know, that's little Ryan. Little Ryan, you know, and there'll be plenty of things about you, Tash, and that was my next question. Like, what do you love?
I love my family. I'm like very family orientated, very close, especially more so to my mum's side than my dad's side. Everyone's got like, most people are closer to the. Have you seen them?
I
memes?
won't talk about man, but I know what you mean.
you know them memes where like it's two different things, and it's at your dad's side of the party and they're all sitting there, and then your mum's side of the family and everyone's like, yeah, that's exactly what ours is like. So yeah, I'd probably say I'm a lot closer to my mum's side than. But we are, as a family, considering there's so many of us, we are very close. Like,
do you think it was easier being a single parent, knowing how strong your family is behind you? Like your mum and dad?
I couldn't have done it without them. And I've got my mum, my dad, my nan, my sister and my two cousins. Like, between them, I mean, I've got another little cousin now that helps me. But without them, they're the first people I went to when I wanted to go pro to like, what do you think? Because they do see the horrible side of it. They do see you upset when you get beat. They do see you when you've lost in tournaments. They do see you not getting selected. They do see like the thing that you put your body through. They do see you missing it. I was a maid of honor for my cousin's wedding and didn't even go to the wedding.
What happens?
I was in a competition.
Oh, some people don't speak about that side of the professional scene. Like the amount of things you miss.
Yeah, I like, and you can't get them back. Or the amount of times, like, to be fair, there's a family event in our family nearly every other month at least. But the amount of times I've sat there, not ate, not drank, and like I'm trying to enjoy and it's not.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard. Yeah, I'm not even a pro, and I know how hard that is. If you've got a gig the next day, like for me, I'll have a gig next day, and it's like, oh, I'll just have a couple.
Yeah, I'll only one. It's not gonna need only one.
And it's like, I can't.
Yeah, I can't.
I'm interviewing, and it's the exact same for you. I'm in camp. I can't eat a sausage roll.
Yeah,
I just eat that thing that'll put calories on.
I want to eat it. It's can't.
What's something people get wrong about you?
I'm always happy, probably.
So they always think you're happy.
They always think I'm happy. Yeah.
Do you ever try and battle that or challenge it, or do you just leave them to be?
I wait for the question to say. I'm not like, I think we put like, and I'm not saying I'm a celebrity or anything like that, but you put people on a pedestal and you expect higher and better of them because they are in the public eye. But we, at the same time, we're just like everybody else.
We all butter our toast. We all go to the toilet. You know
exactly.
I mean?
So, like, I might have a bad day and I might not smile, but everyone's like, "Oh, she's being funny." No, I was just having a bad day. I probably didn't see you, or people beep all the time and expect me to be like,
"Yeah,
I don't know who you are." You know me.
I get that,
but I don't necessarily know you.
I get where you're coming from, 100%. I had a question in my head and it's circulating. Do you know the emotions? That's what it was. So like I was talking about exactly what we're talking about now the other day to a friend or a family member, and it was like, you know, it might be your 1,000th picture that day of like everyone wants a picture with you, but it might be their first time.
Yeah.
That's such a hard balance.
Yeah. I'm sure there'll be someone who's going to be like, well, I asked. I don't think I've ever turned down anyone for a picture.
I've never ever turned down anyone.
Like, because for that reason, because you could take 1,000,000 pictures and the one you say, oh, you know what, I've done enough. They'd be like, what a bitch.
Yeah.
Wasn't she a bitch? No, and I remember Jamie Carragher saying, like,
I feel guilty now because the other day I was into I was filming for TNT and I had to run around the ground. The last home game for Everton, I had to run around the ground and people were asking me for pictures and I was like, I've got to go and do this interview. I'm late. I've got to run. So I was saying to them, run with me, like speed walk with me and get pictures. And there was some people that never, and now as you're speaking about it, I just feel dead guilty. So I had to say it. So bad.
He never stops. So Jamie Carragher never ever stops. He just carries on the way he's walking. And if you want a picture, he'll do it. If you want to stand something, he'll do it. But he never stops. I think, oh, that's a good idea.
It's such a good idea. because you're still getting to your destination.
Yeah.
The minute you stop, it's game over.
And that's what he says. The minute you stop, everyone will circle around, and then you've got to do
And you're not getting out.
individuals. And yeah, so, but if you're running, people are just trying to just click it. So yeah, that's a good one.
Who do you see yourself as? What do you see yourself as? Do you see yourself as a professional boxer, a mother? What do you see yourself as?
I understand that I'm different things to different people. But I'm just Tasha. That's it.
Have you ever had an identity crisis with all the changes that you've had in your life? From being a mother, single parent, to being a professional boxer, football, like, have you ever had that?
I wouldn't say an identity crisis, but like, there's always different faces that you put on for different things. So like, the way I talk now is probably not the way I talk to my mates, which isn't the way I talk to Joe, which isn't the way I talk to my family. So you're like, right, which face do I put on today? Do you know what I mean?
Do you think everyone has that in life?
I think people who get far do, because you have to be adaptable.
Yeah, you got to be like a lizard, haven't you? You got to be able to like change.
A little chameleon.
Yeah, you got to like change to your environments. You're right though, aren't you? Because my whole aim of this podcast is to like bring the human. Like we've touched on the boxing, but I love speaking about the human. Because, you'll go and showcase your boxing ability and you'll show your achievements and accolades and they're fantastic. But, like, I love hearing about you speaking about, like, what you're stressed about.
Yeah.
What is, your daughter, you're speaking about your daughter and the challenges you're going to. Because that's the human side of Tasha, and that's what, like, everyone can relate to. No one can relate to being as hard as fucking a ring and smashing someone's head in. You know what I mean? That's not a common thing. But that to go far in life, you have got to be adaptable, haven't you? Because the scenario of you telling your daughter off to you being on a podcast in a professional setting is too different completely. To then going in the changing rooms 5 minutes before you're about to walk out, to then going to a press conference getting asked the same question 40 times. Everything's different, innit?
Of course it is, but like you were saying before about you started off in gaming, then you moved to interviewing, then you moved to, because you also grow and change, and yeah, people don't always want to see the one side. You have to be quite versatile and I understand that now. I didn't at the start because I was just like, just doing what I do.
I'm the queen.
Yeah, I'm just doing what I do, but you don't realize how many different people that you do touch or that you do inspire or that whatever. So you have to. Now that I understand that, like I approach things sometimes a little bit different. I remember my cousin said to me the other day, are you punchy?
What's that mean?
Punchy? It's when like people start talking slow. It's like a boxing thing, Like,
are you punchy? I haven't noticed.
Well, he asked me and I said to him, you know what it is? I'm already thinking about what you're saying and how I'm going to reply to that.
Yeah, you're thinking ahead.
I'm thinking like, so he's talking to me and asking me questions, and I'm thinking, like, where are we? Who's going to hear? How honest can it be? Like,
oh my God. You're speaking the truth right now, the gospel. You're speaking it. Like, them thoughts going through your head, like, if someone hears me, is there a camera recording? Like, what's going on? Like, oh my God, you're so right. Carry on.
Yeah, that's it. So I'm so conscious of offending somebody that I like think about what I'm going to say. I'm not saying I'm going to be offensive anyway, but like I am so conscious of who's there, who's listening, where I am, like how it can be misconstrued, and it because there's so many little things, or I think a little, and then you'll see them in the paper and be like, oh my God, this is a national outcry because someone's done this or someone said this. It's like, are you messing? And
you don't want to be that, do you?
You don't want to be that. I don't want to offend anyone anyway. But like two, I've got a good job. I want to keep it.
the brain energy that takes, it's actually quite tiring.
It's the mental.
It's so tiring. Like, you could say the simplest of things, like this pavement shite that I'm walking on, but then someone misconcepts that of like, my granddad built that pavement.
Yeah. Or, Tasha's Trashes, Liverpool City Council.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Do you know what I mean? I remember.
It's tiring me now thinking about it.
Like one of the examples in the Olympics, obviously we're Team GB. We've walked out last. We're in London.
What's that like, by the way? Just being able to say what's happening in Team GB, you know what I mean?
Oh, listen, it was crazy. It was mad. We've never had a big competition in the UK ever, like in boxing anyway, that I know. So to have that was just wild, because I remember I was the first one to box out of the women, and we was all sharing the house. And I went in after I beat Queen Underwood, it was. And I was like, everyone's cheering for us. Like I said before, no one cheered. We all got booed. I was like, everyone's cheering for us. It's mad. And everyone was like, what? They're cheering for us, what? But
that gets me excited, like the age you're at, and like, you know, you're on top of the world.
Listen, and we had like people like Zara Phillips, who was like just part of the team. She'd be like, morning, Tash. And I was like, I didn't know whether to curtsy, but she was just so normal, which was good. But yeah, Chris Hoy, he was like the team captain, and he just knew everyone's name. He knew, like, and he was like, morning Tash, yeah, everything okay?
Good captain.
Yeah, he was really good. And I was just like, because I can't even remember people who have come into contact with me a million times. I worked with kids as a youth worker for 2 years and still didn't know all the names, because I just get
It's hard.
My recall.
I forget what I did
shocking.
yesterday. I've really enjoyed today.
Nice one.
Have you? Did you expect to come in and speak about personal things instead of the boxing side?
No, I was expecting a boxing interview. So I'm
be honest,
I'm happy you've asked me some new different questions.
To be honest, like, that to me is, I've got to see a different side of you, and I love that. You know what I mean? I've got to see the mum side. I've got
Not
to
the one
see
taking out Bellew and the and the charity footy match.
You take it all away, Tash. Strip it all back. Belts, achievements, Team GB. You get to the age of 50, 60, whenever you look back on your life, what do you want to be remembered for it all?
I think I just want to be, or try to be, the person that I needed to see growing up. So I try and be that person for me. What did I need to see? How did I want it to look? What would she be doing? What spaces would she be in? And I just try and be that person for little Tasha. And whoever takes out of whatever that is, that's good for me.
For up and coming professionals, for young girls in any scenario, young males, what advice would you give them? You've done a lot, you've been through a lot. What advice would you give them coming into the professional scene? And then I want to know some life advice.
Both advice is believe in yourself, no matter what it is, and it's going to take time. People say it's cliche, it's going to take time, but today that matters most and more than anything. People aren't willing to put the time in. Yeah. People aren't willing to go and train and not be noticed for 10 years to get that one fight that'll put you on the map. If I start a diet on Monday, I want to lose 10 stone by Tuesday. So if it doesn't happen, I'm fuming. And I'm starting again next Monday because I've already ate by the Wednesday. And that's basically what everyone's starting on Monday. And well, you're going to have to go through years. About 1,000 Mondays. It's the same with videos. I get told you've got to do 10,000 videos before you even think like, or 1,000 videos, or they say 100 videos. You've just got to put effort in. What? So as an older person, like, for me and social media, I put out what I want. I want what I want people to see. So it's like you said before, it's only a little snippet of real life and my real world. But I am not a social media person. So how do I be that consistent? Because you have got to be consistent. People are looking for consistency. So how do I be consistent? Because to be that consistent and post every day is not me. So how do I make that true to myself? Why not? Okay, so you want to be consistent in posting and uploading, but it's not your goal at the end of the day, so you haven't got the heart to do it. Yeah, basically. So, delegation. It's delegating to a team member. It's wanting to invest into that part of the business, because at the end of the day, you're a brand. Tasha Jonas is a brand. Boxing, whatever happens after boxing, you're still a brand. And what you want to do is you want to take that further. That's the vibe I'm getting. To be consistent on social media.
So it's being willing to put the money and the resources into that area. It will be someone's heart and gold and pressure to post every day and build platforms. There's people out there right now who are 18, 19, 20, or even older, who want to build brands, who want to wake up and be like, I want to take your brand to 1 million followers and I want to get you as many jobs as possible. But you've got to be willing to put the resources and cash flow in that.
Okay.
So right now I've got a team of about 4 to 6 people. I've got dreams upon dreams and I love uploading every day because I know it satisfies people who are going through a tough day because what I upload's nice and happy.
Yeah.
But if it's not your dream, that's fine. You do what you're good at, but you hire someone in an area you're not the best.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, for
Makes
example, I'm an okay editor. I'm good. I still edit some stuff. But I know there's so many better people out there. So I just make sure to hire someone who loves what they do. And then, like the saying is, I always say, you can go far on your own, but you can go so much further as a team. You know what I mean?
No, I agree.
And that's where, like, you can match that. It's not a downfall. You can match that not want by you. Like, you can match that, I don't want to post every day. Just get someone who does.
Okay.
And then they can for you.
And how do you be that chameleon? And how do you know what they want? Or do you know what they want?
The audience.
Your audience. Because I'm pretty sure our audience ain't going to be the same. But how do you know what the people want?
You don't.
Okay.
You don't know what they want until you get to a certain stage. Like, you didn't know in your first fight, like, everyone was going to boo you until, like, you know, you don't know what the consumer wants until you feed it so many times and it spits it out.
Okay.
So, for example, in this dynamic, if I was a chef, I'm not going to know until I do 50 dishes what dish people like the most.
Got you.
So I'm going to put out 50, 100 dishes until I go, oh my God, why is that one getting ordered 40 more times than the 99 dishes I've done next to it? So what I've done is I've just created until I've realised, oh, I enjoy this and so do they. There's so many things I could do that I love to do that people just wouldn't enjoy. So it's just a fine balance of, like, off cam, I'll do the things that people probably wouldn't enjoy. On cam, I'll still do them because I love them. But I'll do that one thing that people really do enjoy on cam.
So how many times have you done it wrong or failed?
Many times. Yeah. So many times. So many videos have not done well. I've messed up with team members. Like, you know, I haven't been... Because at the end of the day, people see Stillryan. I love the way she can do a podcast, by the way. If any brands want to do this, she's great at interviewing here. Basically, people see Stillryan. People see Tasha the boxer. But they don't see Tasha the mother, Tasha the business owner. At the end of the day, as much as people will see the podcast interviewer and me for who I am, and I'm always honest with who I am, I'm also running a business. Yeah. I've got people, I've got a lead. Like the past 6-12 months for me, bringing on a manager, Will, which I'm very grateful for, fucking die for each other. You know, Ben, Sam. There's a few, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That side is so difficult to learn, to lead people, to learn to...
Did school teach you that?
No.
Exactly.
No, did the heck. But I sound like an American then. But that side is so different. Like, the one thing I do when I bring people in and they want to work for me, I don't just bring them in because they're getting a paycheck. It's like, no. I say, what's your dream? And this might sound Simon Scribby, but I say, what is your dream? Because if I can help you get there, watch you help me get to mine, then we can both work with each other and be happy.
Yeah.
There's no point someone doing something for a paycheck because they're not going to come in and give 110%. Like, I know Ben, he wants to eventually grow into his own thing. I know Sam wants to be a videographer and be the best videographer there is. I know Will wants to be the best talent. And I'm helping them get there by being me.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than me coming in to be your boxing coach and I just don't want to coach you. Why am I doing that?
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Exactly. It's not going to work for both of us. So we always make sure every relationship back and forth, we're both giving each other 110%. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But learning that as a 22-year-old, 21-year-old, money
you're
coming
doing
out,
better than most.
money coming out every month, you're panicking, you're paying things, you're paying people. It's like, oh, but eventually I want to show this side of the camera.
Okay. But you're investing in yourself?
Yeah, massively. I've been to therapy, go gym all the time. You know, that's investing in yourself. I done like Slovakia last year or something, like breath work, cold exposure, boxing.
Oh, like Wim Hof?
Yeah, kind of that vibe. So like, yeah, it's just, sometimes I feel overwhelmed because there's that much to do in the world. Invest in yourself, grow a business, become successful, financially stable.
It's a lot, isn't it?
Oh my God.
And you haven't even had a kid yet.
Sometimes I need a cup of tea. I do, Tash.
Wait till you have a kid and don't sleep for 6 months.
But that's the thing. That's also why birth rates are dropping. Because people my age are going like, oh, I don't want to fucking add this stress to my life when I want to be financially stable. And
I want to go to Thailand on my first holiday.
I want to go to Bali and put flip flops on and get massages. I don't want to be doing none of this.
Oh, why?
It's a crazy dynamic. It's interesting. I like to say.
I think there's a lot of pressure on young people now to be who they see, as in what they see, and like I say, no one.
But that's why it's up to people like us, like yourself, like me, to show the realness, to show. Look, today, like I love the guests I'm interviewing, but I woke up this morning and was like, oh, I don't want an interview today, but I'm so happy I have, and that's the consistency, and that people need to see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you don't want to go to the gym.
100%.
Exactly, and that's the normality people need to see.
You know what? One of my little pet hates is running around Sefton Park, and in the winter there's about 3 people that you see.
You're freezing.
There's like literally 3 hardcore people. There's a couple on a bike. In the summer, I cannot get on the pavement, and it pisses me off.
Because
where were you? Where were you when it was rain, hail, snow?
You're getting the road working when no one's in.
Where was you? And now I can't even get on the pavement. Where was you? So yeah,
I've enjoyed it, and thank you so much for coming on. You're an absolute queen, Tash. Thank you.